good. Can you please introduce yourself to the panel?
Sir, my name is Vaisakh C R. I'm coming from 𝐼𝐴 district from Kerala. I was graduated in physics from ST College affiliated to Kerala University, and I'm currently working as an office attendant in Kerala Health Department.
Something about your hobbies.
Sir, my hobbies includes quizzing and knowledge workshops, and I was reviewing Indian movies, and also I am interested in making memes for the public awareness.
You mentioned some achievements as part of your college or extracurricular activities. What are those?
Yes, sir. I was a winner in the Deshamani talent hunt even during the college level, and I was also won the prize in story writing university level.
Was that in Malayalam or English?
Yes, sir, in Malayalam.
Malayalam. Sir, can you speak?
So what do you understand by the word polity, and then how does it actually translate in your working life in future? Polity, what does it mean to you?
Sir, I didn't get your question. Can you explain?
Do you know there's a word called polity? So what does it mean, and how is it related to our actual civil life?
Sir, coming into polity, it kind of thought of being ourselves governed and our representation to the democracy and how as a society we are evolving. That is polity mean for me. Sir.
That's what you understand.
Yes, sir.
Polity. We are celebrating a major event in India now. That's the 75th anniversary of the Indian Constitution.
Yes, sir.
Can you give a brief understanding of what exactly is the nature of the celebration, and how is it meant to convey a message of the constitutional values in our country?
Sir, we are a democratic country, and we got the freedom from the Britain in 1947, August 15. And all the world thought that we can't sustain with our regional diversity, cultural diversity, all those things. But the Constitution solved all those issues. We having separate languages, separate cultures, separate religions, was the Constitution itself built together, and it's act as a strong binding force us to sustain even today. Without that act as a unitary force, sir. That's the Constitution mean for me, sir.
Okay. And the government has come out with a website called 75 years of the Constitution.com, Constitution75.com. Okay. Have you gone through that website?
No, sir, I'm ready.
If you get an opportunity,
I will do that, sir.
And then one of the most important thing that comes in the website is reading and understanding of the preamble of the Constitution.
Okay, sir.
How familiar you are with the preamble? I am sure you are very familiar because
yes, sir.
You would have done a lot of in-depth study on that. What is the most important words of the preamble? Basically,
sir, I can tell every word.
Not every word. A few important words of the preamble.
Sir, justice is an important word, I think, because it provides for social, economic, and political justice. As social justice gives the vulnerable sections and underprivileged to thrive on the democracy, and the political justice promote our parliamentary democracy and representative democracy, and the economic justice reduce our inequality in the society by providing advocate safeguards for the economically vulnerable section. And also secularism is an important word which was added in the 1976 Amendment Act, which promotes unitary force. The Constitution is a supreme law of the land, and we promoting all the religion as equal. So that's the two words as more important for me, sir.
Do you promote all religions are equal? Is that concept there?
Yes, sir.
What do you understand by secularism then?
Secularism can be
from the definition of the word.
Secularism. Okay, sir. Secularism can be defined multiple ways, sir. But in Indian context, the secularism means equal acceptance of all religion. If anything granted to one religion should be granted to other religions as well. That is secularism, sir.
Can you relate that to Article 15?
Article 50, sir. Article 50.
Relate this concept to Article 15.
Okay, sir. You mean that
Article 50 of the Constitution? Yes.
Okay, sir. Sir, Article 50 states 1.5. Sir, Article 15 states that there is no people. States shall not discriminate people based on religion, caste, or so. According to Article 50, and it promotes secularism in a way that people should not be discriminated on the basis of religion and caste.
So during our interaction, you briefly mentioned about the regional diversity.
Yes, sir.
So if you look in 1947, there was around 565 I think, states, principalities were there, and different, what you can say, the kingdoms of independent rajas and all those things. So it all integrated. So we have something called patriotism and something called nationalism. So whether patriotism is in play now, whether nationalism is in play now, whether the regional identities are coming up or whether it is merging into the national identity, and what are the challenges which the civil society is facing now. You can speak from the political point of view.
Okay. Sir, it is correct that the regionalism now become the people's identity is changing as people identify themselves as Indians, and also they're proposing their regional identity as well, sir. So it is a growing challenge, but in the end, we should confirm ourselves as the citizen of India initially. That was my take on, sir. Because people have the right to identify themselves as they belonging to the another region as well. But at the same time, they should promote the unity and integrity of India, and as also the fraternity and strength in the Constitution of India.
Now, do you feel that the political groups have been getting identified on the basis of caste? And it's more about caste politics rather than actual polity or politics as such. What's the dynamics which you face, and what are the challenges which we have on that?
Yes, sir. There is political parties who identify themselves based on the religion and caste. But at the same time, it provides them an opportunity to get the voice of the marginalized people. So the Dalit politics is a necessary thing in the Indian democracy. But at the same time, it should not cross a line whether it threatens the safety and security and unity and integrity of India. They have the right to identify themselves as the Dalit politics, but at the same time, they should conform within the constitutional limits and rights of other individuals as well.
Can you speak something about some social reformers from Kerala, Tamil Nadu, or any of South India who was fighting against this caste-related issues?
Sir, yes, sir.
Social reformers.
Okay, sir. Sir, Srinarayana Guru is one of the famous social activists in Kerala. His reforms led the vulnerable community from Kerala to achieve a glorious history. And he was also advocated for the educational reforms. He want people to be educated more so that the reforms can be takes place initially. While coming into Tamil Nadu, E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar is an important. He acted against caste hierarchy and the protecting the vulnerable's rights.
Suppose after getting civil services, you are posted into a region. Let us say in one of the towns in Kerala, for example, and there during some religious festival, there has been some clashes between two groups of people. One group of people celebrating the festival, other group of people trying to prevent the celebration of the festival, and there is a law and order situation. Suppose if you are a assistant collector there, initially the first posting, what would be the way in which you will try to handle the situation? There's a population, let us say, about 25 to 30,000 people in a small town, and there is this religious rift, and it has a potential to escalate into a what you call a riotic situation. How would you deal with that?
Sir, first most thing, I need to assess the security condition in that area, because initially need to protect the people from the violent activity also, I think. So that's why I will take the help from the police department. Then only I will analyze the situation. What are the elements involved in the lead to that conflict, and also I will call the religious leaders to talking about the issues. So we can have a representative system from that each and every community and have a meeting and convince them for the betterment of the society and all those things, and make people understanding about the true spirit of secularism and all things.
Okay, Vaisakh, you are working currently in the Department of Health Service.
Yes,
right?
sir.
What are the pitfalls in the current health service delivery system in Kerala, which you have experienced at ground level? And when you become a health secretary in future, what are the modifications which you would suggest to overcome these problems?
Sir, one of the things coming to my mind was the overcrowding of the hospital premises. Sir, many of the primary health centers are located in rural areas, and they haven't the enough resource to cater the needs of people. As there are only the primary health centers, so that is the one thing came into mind. Secondly, the increasing cost of private health cares, like if some diagnostics or other services are not available in certain hospitals, so there is need of private access to the healthcare. So that's increasing the cost of health services. And then thirdly, it is the lack of awareness about people about the access to healthcare. For example, the migrant population in Kerala, they are not aware about the health services provided in Kerala. They are not even promoting institutional delivery. There is a cases of health issues to the women during their pregnancy stage in Kerala. That's also the three major pitfalls I identified, sir.
And your suggestions as an administrator to overcome these?
Sir, one thing came into my mind was the advocating for the online analysis for the small health related issues. There is a 𝐕𝐚𝐢𝐤𝐤 platform in Kerala for online health service. That's one thing. Secondary, about the private health expenditure. So government can put a cap on how much private sector can give cost associated with the private health service, and also we can introduce a health insurance for the poor people who cannot afford the private health workers. Thirdly, we need to make migrant people aware about the what or the health services they can get from that particular area, and also importance of having health into the pregnancy stage and all those things.
Vaisakh, we have got the British healthcare system and the United States of America healthcare system. The US system is heavily insurance dependent, while the other one is majorly public health dependent. Which model do you think may be suitable for a very populous country like India?
Sir, while considering to the Indian scenario, we need to advocate both positive from both ends. Because India's populous country, India need to spend more on public health infrastructure, as many of the Indian population having the amount of money to spend on the health insurance and all those things. And many people of India isn't even aware about the importance of having health insurance. So we need to have a public health expenditure there. At the same time, we need to have a health insurance for the people who have understanding about the health insurance benefits. And later stage we can, but we need mixture, sir.
What is your opinion about public-private participation in healthcare? Like, for example, when certain investigations are not available at your primary health center, involving a private party to deliver the same services at a reduced cost than what is done outside. What is your opinion about that?
Sir, it should be done. Because sometimes the hospital premises are overcrowding with people, and while diagnosing any issues like any pathogen, something like leptospirosis or dengue, we need to give the result immediately. So it's not possible to simultaneously check all the people. Like in COVID scenario, we find it very difficult. There is 200 to 300 people come to test for the COVID, so it is not possible to handle that. So overcrowding happens in the hospital. So we along with the help of some private parties at the reduced cost, it's done in a fair manner. So it need to be done. We need the support of the private sector, and they are leading innovation in medical sector as well.
Let's move to a totally different area. Your optional for the mains is literature of Malayalam language, and you are a writer yourself.
Yes, sir.
And a very celebrated writer expired recently.
Yes, sir.
In Kerala. What is his name?
𝐼 Vasudevan Nair.
Please give your opinion about a comment which I am making now. 𝐼 Vasudevan Nair is a better screenwriter than a novelist. Please comment on this statement.
Sir, I have a different opinion regarding that. He's good at every level. As in being coming into the stories, being in novel, being in script. He's a very talented personality, and he was inspired many of us to write in such a way. Like while coming into his scripts, movie scripts, the dialogues are really stronger in nature. It gives the depth to the characters. Like the same way, while coming into the novels, he put an idea of the strong narratives and strength to the characters and as well. So I think he's balanced in both those things. He's good at a scriptwriter as well as good as a novel writer.
So there is a criticism about Malayalam literature that, so many regional literature has won the Nobel Prize, like Latin American literature, so many others. Why none of the literary works from Kerala has ever won the Nobel Prize?
Sir, I personally view that Nobel Prize is not the final thing when it comes to analyze the greatness of literature. Considering the novel by 𝐕𝐚𝐢𝐤𝐿, 𝐶EMMEEN, it was translated into many languages, and many from the world are known about that particular literature. Like Old Man and the Sea, the 𝐶EMMEEN is the most celebrated novel across the world. So I personally don't think that Nobel Prize is a final thing, and without the Nobel Prize, the literature in Malayalam is greatest and celebrated across the world.
There is this criticism that Malayalam literature is very deeply entrenched in cultural ethos of the land and lacks universal appeal, making it appreciable to the different sections all over the world. What is your comment about that?
Sir, again, I have a different opinion on that. There are many novels and many literary things are outstanding in nature in Malayalam literature. As I told about the 𝐶EMMEEN. 𝐶EMMEEN is a universal, as a theme having the universal appeal, and also the novels written by MD also.
Even 𝐶EMMEEN is based on something which is very regionally culture specific. The core theme itself is very culture specific, which is pertaining to a particular region. But think about Paulo Coelho or even Marquez. Their works have got, the basic philosophy is much more appreciable to every section all over the world, irrespective of the culture. That is the point I'm trying to highlight.
Sir, and one more thing I can add, it's a novel written by Benjamin. So any diaspora can face such challenges in any part of the world. So like novels are coming in Malayalam literature. So 𝐕𝐚𝐢𝐤𝐤 is an example for that also. So we can be say that Malayalam novels are not universal in nature.
Could you mention one script by M.T. Vasudevan Nair which has a universal appeal, which could have been taken in any language and accepted as such?
Sir, it's Parshiraja. Because of the reason that it was a dialogue against the oppression of any foreign power to the land. So that the opposition have been happening across the world. So the majority of the dialogues written in that particular script is against the colonial expansion and oppression. So it can be have the universal approach.
What is your review about the script Sukritam?
Sir, I'm not aware about. If I'm right, it's about the women was.
I haven't watched the movie.
No, sir, I didn't watch.
Forget about it. One final question. One particular Malayalam movie is in the news recently for violent content in it.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that filmmakers need a social commitment, especially in the context of these movies?
Sir, in my opinion, there is art is for art, but at the same time, there is immature minds may affected by this. So we need to have a certification. We have a certification scheme, but at the same time, people need to be make aware about movies. Just movie, the reality was different from the movie. So, but at the same time, I know that and the ignorant minds and the immature minds may affected by this. But the creative freedom should be upheld as we are a country which promote freedom of speech and expression. But at the same time, we need to care about the people who are immature to understand all those things.
Vaisakh, I'm sure you will be reading the newspapers and the major developments. Currently, there is a agitation by farmers going on in Delhi. So, can you tell me something about your understanding of what are the issues being raised and what is the general status of agriculture in the country? What are your impressions of the different issues highlighted by the farmers' agitation?
Sir, actually, the agriculture contributes around 60% of the workforce in our country, and it's a major thing driven Indian economy as well. But since But sir, one of the major issue was regarding agriculture is contributing only 50 to 70% to our economy. So the disguised unemployment is very high in agriculture sector.
Okay.
And also the price disparity. The farmers need to make credit availability for to farm things, but they're not able to get the good price. So there is a price disparity issue was happening. That's why major agriculture movements are advocating for the legalization of minimum support price. So that's why a major hunger strike was happening in India to legalize minimum support price and price support schemes for the agriculture community. Major issue was regard to the price.
Who decides the minimum support price? Which agency fixes the price? Are you aware of that?
Sir, it's Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs finally confirms, and it was Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs decides.
No, there is
A body, sir. I didn't recollect that name. There's a body. So.
okay. You can read up on that.
Yes, sir.
Now, you said about MSP. How many commodities are covered by the MSP scheme, and how is it implemented now? You have some idea?
Sir, I'm not sure about the number of commodities. Sir, I think it is 22 in number. It consists of agriculture products and also it consists of 22 products.
Okay.
It was decided before its sowing season. So the price was decided by the Cabinet Committee on CACP.
We speak about 2 seasons in the country, which are the 2 seasons where agricultural operations take place in the country, popularly called. They have 2 names,
yes,
which is in the public domain while discussing agriculture.
Sir, one is Rabi crops, which was cultivated from June to September time, and also we have Rabi crops.
No, you said Rabi.
Sorry, sir. Rabi, Kharif and Rabi, sir.
Okay. So when you come to Kerala, our share of agriculture has been coming down. So what needs to be done by Kerala to improve, say, coverage of agriculture and also agricultural production? What are your views? What should we do?
Sir, Kerala is Kerala having highly dense population, so expanding agriculture area is not a solution, I think. So we need to focus more on productivity of agriculture. Currently, there are government supporting many schemes to improve the horticulture production and also the fish cultivation happening in the inland areas. So Kerala, we need to diversify the food products. So we have the enough amount of human capital. So my thing is to improve in different types of agriculture, like hydroponics can be employed in many areas of Kerala. So that's it.
In Alappuzha, for instance, what are the changes that you would bring about if you are given the authority to improve agricultural output in Alappuzha, in that district, specifically?
Okay, sir. Sir, one thing I can promote is the production of rice cultivation. In Kuttanad region, cultivating rice only 2-3 months a year due to the flooding related issues. So alternative ways can be introduced in there by reducing the impact of floods in that area. That's the first thing I can do. Secondly, I can support the cultivation of fish. There is a lot of backwaters in Kerala. So the fish cultivation can be promoted. And in areas like, there is areas in Cherthala region which promotes horticulture cultivation. So price support schemes can be given to them, and also the market support can be given to them. So horticulture production can also be improved in that area.
Currently, what is the price support structure being implemented in Kerala for paddy? How does the system work? Paddy is produced, and then the state government has put in a mechanism to support farmers. Are you aware of that? What is the system in Kerala?
Sir, I'm not sure about that system, sir.
Okay. Paddy procurement scheme of the Civil Supplies Corporation is there. You can read about that.
Okay, sir.
So finally, I would like to ask you about your views on the GST. What is GST? Has it been good for the country? What are the changes, and what are your views?
Sir, GST generally means one nation, one tax. Actually, it was a good thing when it comes to it was streamlined the taxation system and improved our economic business.
Okay.
And we can see that the rise in growth of the tax collection in India since GST was implemented. The business classes are morally benefited it, and the ease of doing business is doing very well in India, and it was India improving its rank in ease of doing business. But it comes to in the negative aspects of GST. There is multiple tax structures, so it is difficult to comprehend, and many of the products are.
Broadly, how many taxes are there under the GST currently?
Sir, it's 5%, 12%, 80%, and 28%, and also there is some items exempted from the GST as well.
Very good. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, sir. The major issue with the multiple tax layer system, sometimes it makes a complication for the people to understand, and so it's difficult to filing GST for some small scale industries and well, and also there is a delay in paying GST compensations to states. They are also in a state of financial trouble. So that's are the major negatives I found with that.
Recently, there was one very important item which is an indication of the complication of GST.
Yes, sir.
What is that?
Sir, it's popcorn. It's popcorn having different tax structure and caramel popcorn having another tax structure. That made it very difficult to understand.
How many slabs were suggested for popcorn under this after the 55th meeting?
Sir, I'm not sure about that. I think it's a 3 type of tax structure.
Very good. It is 3.
Yes.
So, what are the rates?
Sir, one thing I remember is 12%.
Okay. Okay. 5, 12, and 18.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you. Vaisakh, there are so many conflicts across the world.
Yes, sir.
And that's the kind of thing that United Nations was designed to deal with. But what's happening in that sphere? Is UN effective? Is it able to deliver on the promise?
So the major conflicts happening across the world is can see that in Israel-Palestine issue was a growing issue. The issue is escalating day by day. And nextly, there is a conflict between Russia and Ukraine. It was started 3 years ago and it is continuing even today. And there is civil unrest in areas like Bangladesh as well as in Yemen, all those areas. But what happened with the United Nations is it find it difficult to tackle that issue. As Russia is the permanent member of United Nations, there is no chance for any resolution passed against Russia by the Security Council. That's a major take on it, sir. While coming to Israel-Palestine issue, Israel not willing to accept the UN verdicts, and they were acted against United Nations decisions. Like one thing I remember, sir, United Nations advocated for no violence against common man in Rafah areas, but Israel forbids and attacked the common people in the Rafah region who are tried to escape from the war. So UN failed to tackle that issue. While coming to the Bangladesh issue, UN not even looking into the UN was not productive enough to deal the minorities facing challenges. And while coming into the civil unrest in areas like Yemen, UN not able to reach out to that area and protecting the people. And sir, one thing I forgot, it is the Syrian conflict. In Syrian area, the rights of individuals are not protected, and UN not able to make a solution to that issue also, sir.
If that is the situation, should India be aspiring to become a permanent member of the Security Council? And would it not only complicate things further with new members being given, if at all, can be given veto power, that will complicate the current situation even further. So why are we so keen in joining such an ineffective global arrangement?
Sir, India is always famous for its human rights interventions and supporting its individual fellow countries. So I think India can make a productive view on that aspects. Like we are very much focused on minority rights. That's why we are advocating for the peaceful conflict resolution in the Bangladesh area. And also, during the Israel-Palestine war, India made a comment that the common man should not be attacked, and there is need to be a peaceful conflict resolution mechanism. And it comes to the Russia-Ukraine area. Indian Prime Minister visited both Russia and Ukraine, and he stated that we can act as a mediator for resolving conflict. So India has acting against such issues other than where UN failed to act on. So India is a country who are advocating for the rights of individuals and the common peace structure in the world. So that's why I think India can make UN much more effective than today.
India seems concerned about the plight of minorities in Bangladesh.
Yes, sir.
But at the same time, the image that India has about how it treats its own minorities, especially the present government, I think that is a big question mark. So how do you reconcile these two? You take a moralistic position when it comes to your neighbor, but you are guilty of doing something else within your own country.
Sir, I can take into that aspect as well. But at the same time, Indian judiciary is very strong enough to deal such issues. And when it comes into the constitutional principle, we have a right to freedom of religion from 25 to Article 25 to 28. So to protect the minorities as well. But we can say one thing, that we have the president from the minority communities and we have a Dalit from the president. So we are catering to all the sections of the society. We are not limiting upon certain majority minority thing. We are united as a country and we are secular in nature. And no country ever can claim that they are giving so much opportunities for all the sections in that country. So I don't think, sir, India is a minority issues in India. There are some issues, but at the same time, as a nation, India was performing well to protect the minority rights.
How would you assess India's relationship with our immediate neighborhood? Are things going well or are there issues of concern?
So there are issues with concerns regarding our borders, countries, especially with the Bangladesh recent political change. But India can make up on it, sir. At the same time, we have issue with the Sri Lanka in the recent past. But the recent visit with the Sri Lankan president said that Indian neighborhood cannot be given to others for acting against India. So we have the issues with many countries, but at the same time, we are trying to make it possible solutions. Like with China also, there is security level meeting happening, and also BRICS countries, we are advocating each other's economic rights and all those things. And we have issues with the neighbors, but at the same time, India not staying away from the issues, but at the same time, India advocating for changing the scenario.
This month, with Trump coming to power in USA, a lot of things are expected to be disrupted. How do you see India-US relations being impacted by this new development?
Yes, there will be considerable change in the policies Trump can take. One thing is related to the tariff. In the first tenure of Trump, he advocated for tariff hike against India. And also he removed India from the generalized system of preference. So in trade-wise, it might impact India on a larger scale. But in the recent time, Trump said that he will never against H-1B visa. So it was a positive thing for India, as many of the H-1 visas granted to Indians. So it's a positive step in regard that. And also, USA supporting India's claim to be a strong network in the Indo-Pacific region. So security-wise also, India may be benefited. There are issues regarding India's relation with Iran and Russia as well. But at the same time, India proposes a principal distance, and I hope US President might admit that, sir, for the benefit of the two countries.
Thank you. I think the questions part is over. Rajat sir, will you please give your responses, comments? You want to start with psychiatric? Okay.
So that we can
Vaisakh,
reveal whatever is left.
Vaisakh, you come across as a very confident, level-headed and balanced individual, especially the way in which you introduced yourself. You are not at all apologetic about the present position you are holding. And we expect a little bit of defensive language in such a thing. It did not come. It was a very graceful introduction. And a lot of good things about you. You have a wide range of knowledge. You have the ability to answer difficult questions reasonably tactfully. And some of the questions, especially related to the GST and the economics part, you answered wonderfully well also. But certain suggestions for fine-tuning your performance. Don't take it as a criticism, it's just for fine-tuning your performance, because such a person with a lot of good things should get into service. That is what we feel. Certain areas of knowledge you might have already identified there are certain areas, deficiencies in your knowledge, especially the question which Ajit asked, the initial thing. The polity, it could be a question which can be asked. It's a generic kind of a question, but we need to have a better clarity about that term and how it applies to the present situation. So again, some questions which 𝐷𝐿 sir asked also about some factual things. Those factual deficiencies, please correct it. Essentially, the questions will be from 5 different areas. Number 1 is whatever you have written about yourself in the DAF. I concentrated on that. Next will be your current affairs related to national issues, which include economics, politics, etc. Then international issues, which Sitaraman sir asked. Then your working experience and your subject of graduation, which we did not touch. And again, please go through something called competency matrix for civil servants. There is a document like that. This personality test assesses 7 things very specifically. Your communication skills, your intellectual integrity, your ability to analyze information, your stress management abilities, your conflict resolution skills, etc. So knowledge is not something which is primarily assessed here. So we had a very graceful way of admitting your ignorance. It was commendable. But if there are more than 1 instances where you are not aware of a particular thing, you can modify the way in which you answer. I haven't heard about it, so I'd look into it today itself. I'd read about it today itself. That's a positive way of, even converting, deficiencies into benefits. And certain things in your expression, especially when you think in Malayalam and convert it into English, there can be a little bit of lacunae. So in multiple instances, you are adding this phrase and all, once you are finished. Please avoid such kind of things. You can wind up gracefully with what you say. And also, when you are speaking about Srila Narayana Guru, he did what was necessary for the marginalized section to achieve a glorious history. Is it a glorious history or the glorious present? So these small technical issues. I think you can ask a friend of yours to ask you some random questions, answer it, record it in your own mobile, listen it, and fine-tune your communication skills. Other than that, it was an excellent performance. I sincerely hope you would get it to administrative service itself this time. All the best.
Thanks.
Yeah, Vaisakh, congrats in advance. Actually, one thing I wanted to mention is that body confidence was there. But there was an element of little bit of stiffness in the initial time. An element of nervousness came through when you are coming, when you sat down and when you are initially interacting. So there was a little bit of starting trouble in the beginning. So that sense of ease probably that has to be a little bit consciously cultivated, and you should be a little more relaxed in your body posture. I think you would be in a better guide to inform you how to, the hand position and the way in which you are sitting. There was an element of unreasonable stiffness in the way you were doing that. So that is one thing that you can be taking care of. Second thing is that pleasantness is absent, little bit of pleasantness. I mean, you are more intellectual. There has to be a little bit more emotional content. For example, when you are talking about social formation of that can happen based in our country, or about the role of India in United Nations security, it can be a little bit more, a patriotic element of pride can come into the way in which you are selling the answer. So the emotional content that can be generated, then modulation of the voice and other things. So what sir told you regarding asking a friend to give you a topic and you are talking about it, it is actually, it should not be a monologue type of thing, question and an answer. You should have a content of emotion, a content of participation in the subject, and communicating your beliefs and your values and your thing, so that the board will feel that you are involved in the answers which you are. So that is something by rehearsal, I think, by asking a question and getting a rehearsal that they can be done. And then when you look at the DAF also, 2-3 things you can, I didn't ask that question because I was also getting myself warmed up actually. So what you can do is regarding your father was into the choir industry.
Yes,
So Alapura and choir industry is something, it has a source of economic significance in it. So those portions we can read up. The special economic processing zone, the first type of economic processing zone was a choir processing zone that was a native type of genesis that has happened in Alapi. So those type of choir industry related things they can ask. Then you're talking about you are being the physics secretary also.
Yes.
So the scientific temper, that is there for the growth of our, the community that is coming from an India as a Vishwaguru. So those type of related questions also can come. And then what are the industries the industries of Kerala? From Kaya, they may go to the industry part of the thing in Kerala. And there's always a feeling that the industrial, opportunities in Kerala is not good enough for people to come and invest. So that related questions can also come on that. So if you talk about Yemen, then the Nimisha incident also can come. So you can, what can be your stand? Whether you feel morally right to get involved as a, as a person or as a representative of the country in those issues. So this thing can come out of your answers and things that is coming. So when you talk about the new president, Donald Trump coming back to power, you can benchmark India's relationship with how the relationship of India was there in his previous regime. So that can be the indicator, what can be the attitude. So your answer can be tempered with that type of input. No? What Trump did during his previous regime, what was his relationship with India, trade expectations, mutual collaborations, all those things you can take it as a benchmark and make your presentations if this question comes. So that can be the answers that can do well for you. And basically is that there can be a little bit more emotional content in the way you communicate and say it, and then that can make a world of difference in the way you do. And then in the trust parameter, the trust parameter also is good. But I think formal, it can be a little bit more formal on the way in which you trust. Okay.
Yeah, I was impressed with your responses. Only suggestion that I have is that there are key areas which most of us would expect the panel to ask. In each of those areas, try to fortify your data or fact base, which I would suggest that, say, GST or agricultural, the farmers' agitation, or you could have some other topics also. Try to write down sentences which will be data filled and fact filled, and then in your responses it will be easy to weave them in, because you have got ideas, you have conceptual clarity, you have communication ability. In your responses, if some data or fact is also brought in, that will add to the credibility of your response. So I would advise that you work on key data fact sheet with regard to, say, 10 or 15 topics, and try to have those facts imprinted on your mind. That will help you when you articulate. Good luck.
What is the date of your UPSC interview?
Sir, it's January 24th.
Oh, that's
very close.
quite close. Yeah. Well, you got very valuable inputs. We have also interacted online, and the same sentiment has been expressed that you are doing very well. There is, of course, always room for improvement. Pay attention to those. And as he said, interact with your friends, let them ask you questions, and also
Recording.
And recording, you will realize small issues related to English which you are concerned about, which also just keep that in your mind, but don't get stressed by the advice from everybody. And do well. Wish you all the best.
Thanks.
Let the mic be removed. Do you have any questions?
Sir, I have a doubt whether I could sit like this or.
Actually, in the Western system, it is always good to keep your arms open like this. If you keep it like this, it is as if you are cutting off the other person. But in our system, it doesn't matter, because whenever we see an elderly person, you do like this. Whichever you feel comfortable. Only thing is that your arms should not move too much to the extent that the panel will be focused on your arms rather than your answers. That is only. Whichever you feel, you can keep it like this or something. Once in a while, you can use your hands to aid the flow of your answers. That's it. But don't use too much of gestures. But at the same time, just like what Sir mentioned, don't take it as a very grilling kind of an exercise.
His shoulders stiff. Shoulders. Body stiff. Relax. You just sit back. Relax. When you keep your hands on your thighs, it looks a schoolboyish type of thing. School master relax. But don't press your fingers. You should be relaxed. Body should be fluid.
This is okay, but don't
press.
like this.
Don't press. Relax.
Even that is fine.
പക്ഷെ അത് കുറച്ചൊരു സ്റ്റിഫായിട്ട് തോന്നും. നാച്ചുറൽ ആയിട്ട് തോന്നുന്നു.
You're comfortable with hands down.
ഇടയ്ക്കൊരു മൂവ്മെന്റ്, ഐ മീൻ യു ക്യാൻ ഗിവ് എ ലിറ്റിൽ ബിറ്റ് ഓഫ് മൂവ്മെന്റ് ഓഫ് യുവർ ഹാൻഡ്സ് നാച്ചുറൽ ആയിട്ട്. പക്ഷെ അത് മനസ്സിൽ വെച്ചുകൊണ്ട് യു ഷുഡ് നോട്ട് കീപ് ദാറ്റ് ഇൻ യുവർ മൈൻഡ് ആൻഡ് സിറ്റ് ബിഫോർ ദ ഇന്റർവ്യൂ. അതൊരു സ്ട്രെസ് ആയിട്ട് വെക്കാൻ പാടില്ല. യു ഷുഡ് ബി കംപ്ലീറ്റ്ലി റിലാക്സ്. പ്രീറ്റൻഡൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ ഇന്റർവ്യൂ ഗോ ആൻഡ് റിലാക്സ് യുവർ സെൽഫ് ഇൻസൈഡ്, വാഷ്റൂമിൽ പോകുന്ന പോലെ. So that's what he said actually. So you can do that and then it should be okay. And you have the potential to perform extremely well. So keep that in mind that you are a winner and you will do extremely well. And you have confidence already. A confidence with fluidity and a little bit of emotions, I think you can do extremely well.
Amrita IAS Academy.